If I go dash a money, and you they make my heart tremble. Like mommy, why you fine like this? Oh, if you look well, no be only me come. I carry body them, they bring him money come. I say we no go to the money come. Go for your body, them say there's money on. They know the job, money goes up.
Lower your body, they want your kiss. Turn up the rhythm, yeah, why not my charging? No negotiations, give you the latest. Doing the most for you, lady, no hesitation. Minding my business, but now you are the chase. No ask where to go, I'm going your way. The feeling the top of my mind. Baby, know they look tight. I go fulfill your days, I'ma make it right now. You they give me love, I know what you buy, yo. With a different realm, with a different time zone. The lady so much great, girl, I'm blessed, you're my own. Not only you, they make my world go. As long as we get days, I'ma make it right now. And you see your baby, gon' make it on. While we levitate. Your body don't do me, move it. It's the right things that I could do. Cut the long, coming your will. The body don't catch me, move it.
It's Kelpie vibes.
Anybody who go try me, go. I come me, bush and woo me, to bad them, you come and buy a lot of bullshit. Get it to the door. I need one bet. Mother, nobody need motion on the door. This is another story, for my man. Make I tell you waiting happen for a bullet. Body's big party inside my bullet. I went there with my best friend Kule. They there with his girlfriend Shile. Ghetto girls them they like Takasufi. So many pretty girls they inside my mule. I just the one that say which can party, yeah. Everything yakba, everything there. Oh shit, I get many girls with them they come from away. AJ boys then they like to throw away. Almost go babe. We just having fun. We won't carry on. Crazy guests like make this stallion. But my girlfriend they turn me on. That's why I hold on tight. Hold on, jaja. Hold on tight. Hold on, jaja. That's why I hold on tight. Hold on, jaja. Hold on tight. Hold on, jaja.
Downtown in the undertow, chasing highs when I'm feeling low. Gotta let go, but I don't know how to let go.
who has done very well. Nobody can continent industry has done very well in the last couple of years. And there have been 3 generations. We had the early filmmakers, the Hubert Ogunde, Adia Folanyo, and those who did their films. We had the second generation, which is our generation who came in with the Nollywood era, with Living in Bondage. And we have these new ones who are doing marvelously well in the cinemas with their film and even on Netflix. So the film industry we cannot overemphasize our contribution to developing Nigerian.
How do the Abuja International Film Festival addresses the issues like diversity, unity, and development?
That's part of what we do every year. The festival is for us, it's a festival, it's a platform to bring everybody, like the first question about collaboration. We bring everybody together and discuss these issues. We must protect Nigeria. Yes, look at the issue of the American government saying they want to assist us in bringing military force here. It has been told in different ways. Some said it's military force coming to take over Nigeria. Some said they are coming to support. You see, for us, that's where film comes in. We must also use film as a tool of passing our own message, of telling the world that we are united people. And you see, for me, I keep saying one thing, with our diversity, different languages, different culture, different orientation, Nigeria still remains one of the best countries in the world.
How does the Nigerian film industry plan to improve its location? Like the movies, most of the movies, you see that they only focus on 2 or 3 houses.
You see, that's a budget issue. And it's also very funny when you pick that as an issue. It is not every Nigerian film that does that. You see some very large-scale movies where you see the variance in locations. So for those who do that, it's deliberate. It's a budget issue. It's fundamentally a budget issue. For me, it's just budget. For those who do it that way, you cannot blame them. They're looking at their budget. And anywhere in the world, you have low budget, you have high budget. So budgets are fundamentals of production too.
All right, thank you very much.
Can you please tell us your name again?
My name is... Yes. Just give me 10 minutes. Yeah. 15, okay. Yeah. Yes. My name is Fidelis Duka. I'm the founder of the Abuja International Film Festival. Okay.
Good morning or good morning.
Could you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Francis Duru. I'm a filmmaker. I'm part and parcel of this film festival.
How would you assess the growth and global relevance of Nigerian cinema today, and what key areas still need development?
Well, let me start with the very last question. Key areas for development. We still need a market that is very realistic, that we can still define, that can accept and affect virtually everybody, from the macro creative industry enterprise to even the big films, and stop defining the industry from the gloss of the top. If there must be a top to bottom approach or bottom to top approach, that's how we should define the industry. But if you look at it now, we are not looking at the monies we are not making, because there's not so much emphasis on the people at the lower end. That's the macro part of the chain. So that is what. The next question was...
Okay, so let me just...
Yes.
The film festival has been running for 22 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You've been part of the success story.
Yes, sir. Well, good, because as one who is contributing, it's a legacy thing. Because if you check how many years you've been in I've put in more or less 3 decades and plus. So when you look at the master classes, the engagements, the panel discussions, these are the thoughts that have actually shaped the industry. If we were to put this as a volume or in volumes of books, it goes a long way. Our experiences in the course of the virtual, the various discussions, intercourse between practitioners, best practice and all that stuff. So I feel good. It's a contributing factor for me.
How does film contribute in shaping national identity?
You mean Nigeria or generally?
In Nigeria.
It has been, and we have always been. Our cultural heritage today, the level of cultural diplomacy you have in Nigeria today, it started in the film. You go to Kenya, you get to all of this, you say Igwe, they know the Nigerian dress, they know the Nigerian philosophy and ideology from the films we have done. So when you talk about cultural identity, you're talking about the people's culture, the people's history, philosophy, their couture, their cuisine, and everything. And this is what film is doing. This is what film has come to do, not only in Nigeria, but Africa. So the Afrocentric values today are being pushed through the parameters of the film industry. And we are doing very well. So whether you like it or not, you undermine us at your own peril. We have come to be a force to reckon with, not only in Africa, but in the world. And that we see the world keeps coming to Nigeria every which time. So when you talk about our cultural identity, our film industry remains one that has worked so hard to maintain that.
As a filmmaker, how do you
My name is Temitope Ajayi. I'm Senior Special Assistant to the President of Nigeria on Media and Publicity, and I'm here at the 22nd Abuja Film Festival to deliver a keynote address.
Okay, so what does the festival mean, and what is the contribution of the presidency to growing the creative industry?
Of course, you know that the federal government is supporting the creative industry, the growth, and that is why when President Tinubu assumed office about more than 2 years ago, he created a whole ministry to drive his policy agenda on creative economy. So today we have the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy. That speaks to the seriousness and the attention the president is paying to that industry. And as of today, the federal government has different programs that are meant or designed to help the sector grow. The $600 million fund that have been put together for development partner under the program called IDICE, that is innovation and creative. That fund is meant for technology, digital and creative sector. So practitioners in this industry can take advantage of that fund. And there are also other funds under BOI and under the Bankers Committee that the industry actors and role players can take advantage of. And don't also forget that the federal government just, through the Bankers Committee, just renovated one of the biggest creative center, the National Theatre. Yeah. So, and the president himself was even there to open the rehabilitated facility. That facility has been almost has been in state of disuse for more than 20 years. So the fact that the government sunk through the Bankers Committee invested billions of dollars, that is a hub of creativity. That's the hub of a creative economy in Nigeria. So those are examples of how the government is enabling the sector.
So it's one thing to make provision for something, but it's another thing to have access to it.
Yeah.
So for creatives in our country, Nigeria, how accessible is it for them in terms of this?
A lot of them are accessing the fund. Some of them even, and I'm saying it didn't start under this current administration. Previous government, I know, the last administration of President Buhari, the administration of President Jonathan, had always made available grant and special dispensation fund for the creative sector. And I know a number of creative, of filmmakers, for example, who had accessed those funds and they have made movies. People like Moabudu, Ebony Live Production, Kunle Afolayan, and a whole lot of others that I can. But of course, those are the people I know too. So I don't know everybody. I don't know everybody in the industry. But again, industries thrives. Industry like this thrives on the back of big names. They are the giants that the others stand on their shoulders. So that is the way it works in the economy. So there are always big players, small players, and the medium players. So the people at the apex, we pull up those that are the base of the pyramid. Yes.
Share your impact and
No more questions, please. Thank you.
Now which kind life way I never see. I carry God so I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commands. Original no be parody. You know fit clear for your memory. Whether now winter or summer. I did Papa does Savannah. Living life. See my fire burning bright within the inside me. Small leeway they might be. They never know I color. No the move fine. Check and balance. Everything inside my mind daily. Trust me. You can't fool me. And then you don't got logo. Who are friendly and cautious. I'm allergic to
I don't want for the thinking.
We need it. We need it. Okay, you understand that? That is why. Becoming aggressive.
Good morning. Hello, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. How are you? No, you're not sounding as if it's okay. You're sounding like someone who was actually forced to wake up this morning. Hello. A high five to the person sitting next to you. Get to know their names. Chop knuckle. Appreciate what they are putting on. Especially the ladies, knowing too well that every lady who wakes up every morning to come out must do something special. I don't know where these guys are from, but the ladies, you all look so wonderful. Put your hands together for them. Well, you can help the guys who are around. Just give them half of what you are giving them. Next time, learn to come out well from home. Put your hands together for them. We have the students in the house. We have friends, film enthusiasts, and our diplomatic who are in the house. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our friends, other partners of the Abuja Film Festival. For me, it is really wonderful. I remember the very first time this whole thing started to the 22nd, and I've been part and parcel of it. Just in case you're asking, who is this clown standing here and talking crap on the microphone? I am an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a filmmaker. I'm just everything you can think about in the creative industry. Not because I'm very greedy, but as an ambitious young man, I found myself oscillating like a rolling stone, here, there, here, now, and by the grace of God, I found myself doing
Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign in peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank you so much. And if you're also a Nigerian, may you please put your hands together. Uncle, thank you so much. So I don't know your name. The way you sang that song, the passion that greeted it speaks to so much. Like in Pidgin, when I know the day where the time they write that national anthem, that time Nigeria, they work well for now. The way you sang it, spoke volume, say, at least this one I know. Let's put our hands together for him. That's the passion that greets nationhood. It's a though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And whether you like it or not, it remains the core behind our identity as Nigerians. Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa mention it, but every which time we stand together. And if there is anything that has brought us together, that keeps uniting us, that keeps making us not to know where we come from, is our sports, then our creative industry. So I think if you're a creative mind here, you're in the creative industry, this is the one time we have to behave like the Agama lizard that fell from a high tree or wall and landed on the ground, and nobody was telling him, well done. He shook his head, and that's why till today, the Agama lizard is fond of nodding his head, appreciating himself. So if you are a creative native in the hall here, please put your hands together for yourself. Thank you so much. God bless you. It's indeed a very beautiful evening, but permit me to actually use this opportunity to appreciate the various embassies here, from Iran Embassy, the consular, Sahid Reza Ghaffari, and Stefana. Okay, thank you, Sahid Reza I don't know if I messed up that name. Bear with me, sir. Please, if you're here, put your hands together for him. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. I wish I could speak your language to do justice to that, but it's fine. Embassy of the Turkish Embassy, we have Fa Eden Mayan. Please put your hands together. Did I murder your name? Please put it. Can we please appreciate them now? Show the Niger love. You know, let your applause have some vibe and swag. All right? We also have the Embassy of Egypt, represented by Basdi Eluzi, if I'm correct. Is that your name, sir? Please manage it. I'll make sure I use my hand to write, because I don't know whether they are Greek. These guys are writing here. I'll see, make out and go outside and write the names and get the right pronunciation. If it means coming to meet you, but don't give me a lecture. Just say something short about your name, you know. Let's put our hands together for him. We're also privileged to have in the house the special assistant on media and publicity, Mr. Tokwe Ajayi in the house. Oh, Jesus Christ. These guys are just writing this. I'll still do justice to that. For now, let me respect all those who are gathered here. I'll make our time and do justice to the various names and make sure your various appellations, your status, and everything are well in place. Without much ado, it's a beautiful day. And for one of the things about the Abuja Film Festival is that the aptness of each of its theme. And each time it comes up, it speaks to something that is very relevant. Nigeria has been bullied of recent by Trump, by America. But you see, whether we like it or not, anything we must do as a nation is to stand for us, by us, with us. And if there's one medium that has all it takes to correct that, is the film industry. And the aptness of the theme, from script to nation, the role of film in shaping national identity, is one that must be adequately appreciated and applauded. So once more, let's put our hands together for FAD team for actually thinking Nigeria, going Nigeria by virtue of that theme. National identity is key. And so without much ado, I just want to go straight into the program, because for those who are streaming online, we appreciate you. Those who are around in the course of the event, we'll make sure we do justice to your names and titles. So without much ado, may I invite for the festival welcome speech, an official welcome speech to the 22nd Abuja Film Festival by the festival director himself, Dr. Chief, Mrs. Temitope Duka, who is already in the house, a workaholic. If she's not here, you just bear with her, because she wants to make sure all the I's are adequately dotted and the T's cut with precision and meticulousness. Put your hands together. She's here. Strong woman in her quietness, in her mildness. There's so much strength that greets the African woman, and that is what she is. She stays here. She coordinates everything worldwide. You want to look at where the energy is coming from, is this simple, beautiful woman. I believe when God created the African woman, God was showing off. This is a typical example. Let's put the hands together. And for the women in the house, you can do much better for your own. Don't say you are being marginalized. Women, are you in the house? Clap for your own. No. God bless you, my dear sister.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So the theme for the festival this year, Beyond the Screen, Fueling National Narrative. Distinguished guests, esteemed filmmakers, cultural enthusiasts, ladies and gentlemen, decades of unwavering consistency and sustainability in celebrating cinematic excellence. The journey to the 22nd edition has been a marathon and not a sprint, sustained by sheer passion and a commitment to the art of storytelling despite significant hurdles. This year, our resilience is mirrored in the phenomenal response we received, an astounding 1,687 film entries from over 87 countries. From this rich pool, 71 exceptional films have been selected to screen and compete over the next 5 years. Our theme this year, From Script to Nation, the role of film in shaping national identity, underscores the profound power of cinema. Film is more than entertainment. It is a vital tool for national introspection, dialogue, and identity formation. Through the diverse narratives presented this week, we will explore how stories on screen can reflect, question, and ultimately build the Nigeria we envision. As we celebrate this milestone, I must appeal for enhanced support. The AIFF has consistently delivered a world-class platform, yet we continue to struggle with funding. To sustain this institution, to sustain this vital cultural institution and unlock its full potential, we urgently need more robust we obviously need more robust institution and private sector partnership. Investing in Abuja International Film Festival is an investment in our shared cultural heritage and creative economy. I wish to express profound gratitude to all the foreign embassies, our dedicated government agencies, the talented filmmakers, and all of you who attend annually, demonstrating unwavering belief in our vision. Over the next 5 days, we will host insightful panel discussions, experience captivating screenings, and cheer on our deserving nominees to victory at the award night on Monday. To all the competing filmmakers, I want to say good luck. May the best stories prevail. Enjoy the festival, as we say in film. Action. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming today, and please enjoy the film festival.
I think you can do much better than that. I know it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. May I now correctly appreciate the presence of the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, Mr. Temitokwe Ajayi, who will be giving us the keynote address at the right time. Can we please put our hands together for him? I'm so sorry, sir, the way that name was written. I would have mentioned it then that at the end of the day, you send boys to beat me. But I'm used to it, sir. Let's put our hands together once more. I also have in the house the DG Film and Video Censors Board, ably represented. No name yet. We also have my dear sister Evelyn is in the house. God bless you. Stephanie Okere is in the house. Let's put our hands together for her. Other Nollywood actors, producers, Papel was in the house. Let's appreciate them. Once we have your names and different media houses that are behind the scene working. And for our online audience, we want to say we have started. We are on course. We know how much time means to especially the embassies. And so without much ado, in no particular order, we'll crave the various embassies to come forward and give us their goodwill messages by saying those things you need to tell us, those necessary kind of support we need, looking at the theme, advancing the power of cultural diplomacy which the industry has created over the years, although not constituted or instituted, but has grown over the years. At any which time you talk about the Nollywood industry, it has actually gravitated from this to this. But I believe the whole idea of today is to actually speak towards intentionality of our looking at our industry deliberate enough from script. We have done well in some of the films we have done. You hear 1st October, that spoke about our independence. Eagle Wings, that spoke so much about the brevity of our Air Force. We are industry too. We have tools or non-kinetic, means. And so this is that one time we crave our indulgences. So maybe we start from you from the front row. Just come up and tell us your details and give us your goodwill message. Let's put the hands together. If there's one thing we need to do is to appreciate the man who is coming to tell you something good about your country, and let's mean it from our heart. Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, you do us two assignments so that we know you better. You pronounce your name the way we will learn to pronounce it. God bless you. I love your suit. Do you have my size in your house?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation and having me here today. My name is Basil Lozi. I'm head of political and cultural affairs at the Egyptian embassy here in Abuja. I'm really glad and delighted to be here today at this really important event. We all know the capabilities of Nigeria when it comes to film industry, and I'm really new here in Nigeria. I've been here for like 3 months, but I've seen how much the Nigerian people and the Nigerian government is keen on supporting the film industry, and I really believe in the power of cultural diplomacy. So that's why I'm standing here today to express Egypt's support for this great event and wishing it all success. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's from him. Let's put our hands together for the support from Egypt. May we also now invite from the Turkish embassy. Let's put the hands together for him as he comes to the microphone.
Ladies, gentlemen, good morning to everyone. My name is Fatih. I'm director of Turkish Cultural Center in Abuja. And actually, this is my first month in Abuja. I came directly from Croatia. And I'm so happy and excited being with you in here. And thanks so much for the invitation. Cinema, film industry is so important between countries for culture. And I hope we can be part of next year, this International Abuja Film Festival. Again, thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If I'm not mistaken, Iran. Let's put our hands together for Embassy of Iran. Thank you so much.
Name of God, gentlemen, morning. I'm Jafari from Iranian embassy. It's the first time near 1 month I'm here. Thank you for invitation. So I haven't time for join to your festival film, because I'm 1 month here, and next, after 1 month, in Zuma Festival film from Iran, we have 6 film, and also one person, famous person for marketing film, and also for master class. And it's very good for us for next year. Maybe I'm joining today your festival, and also with master class, and also some person for marketing also. Thank you very much for invitation.
Thank you so much. You heard that. One thing we also appreciate is to make sure our embassies here present, you keep your doors open for interaction. And if there's one thing I must take from the very last goodwill message from Iran, marketing, marketing, marketing. Now, it's key to me, not simply because I'm an Igbo man, that marketing is very, very important. But in our industry today, the biggest market that we have not actually tapped from is the market of cultural diplomacy, which also boosts our sense of cultural exchange, build markets abroad, and these are the things we are looking at. I believe you're being here. There's so much your country can make from here. There's so much we can make in your country. In the order of reciprocity, the bilateral relationship that exists between these two countries must not just end up with only the political, the economic. Part of this economy, when you talk about Nigeria, the creative economy is very, very, very important. It has built, it is still building, and we know it's a cash cow that the world is waiting to mine from. And guess what? As Nigerians, creatives, we are more than ready. So once more, let's put our hands together for our embassies and members of the diplomatic community. Is there any other diplomatic outfit here? I don't mean from Ondo State, Bauchi State, I mean abroad, diaspora. Any other? Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for you wonderful people. The next goodwill message will be from one of our own. I'm so happy they're here. The Nigerian Film Video and Census Board, and one who has always been a recurring decimal every time we gather. Ituochere Martins, the Director of Special Duties, is here to represent them. Let's put our hands together for our own and bring him on stage with a flourish of applause. Thank you so much.
Mama called me just the other day. She said hello, hello.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Fidelis Duka and your team. Thank you for inviting the board. My name is Ituochere Martins. I'm the Director of Special Duties of the board. I'm here representing my Executive Director, Dr. Shaibu Hussaini, who eventually is attending an earlier scheduled appointment somewhere. So I'm just standing in for him. But I know before we finish this program, he will be here also. What do I need to say? The Abuja International Film Festival has been on now for 22 years, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful journey. I have been attending this event, I think from the time it was being held in Chelsea Hotel. It was over 15 years ago now, 15, 16 years ago, under my director then, Mr. Mekamba. So it's been a long time. I congratulate you guys, your dexterity, your seriousness, your hard work, and your consistency. It's not been easy. So many other film festivals in Nigeria have come up and died somewhere along the line. So many other events have come up and died. But you have been there, even when the storm has been terrible, but you've been able to weather the storm. I congratulate you. I want to assure you once again of the board's support. We will support you in whatever way we can, in whatever way that is possible. We will support you. I'm not talking about support here now in terms of finance only. If about finance, yes, when it is possible, when the funds are available, the board will do that. I can make that pledge on behalf of my board. We'll do that. But we can also support you technically and in other ways. And we'll always partner with you. We'll always be with you. So once again, congratulations on the 22nd edition of the festival. And we wish you well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, as creative natives, when one calls, so many answer. And so it is with our sister industry, the broadcasting too. We have one wonderful lady whose elegance every which time beyond her spoken words in front of the microphone will always make you to sit up and listen to what she wants to say. Veteran broadcaster, Mrs. Sean Lagunju in the house. Please put your hands together for her. We know you now. Goldfish, no hiding place. God bless you, my dear sister. It's been a while. Oh. Are you sure you are in this Niger? Show me the area of Nigeria you're in. I don't need to come closer to the house so that I stay around because they glow on your face. It's suspicious. Let's put our hands together once more for her. And my erudite brother is DEFCON scholar. This man, right from the days of University of Port Harcourt, 1989 to 1990, is a great scriptwriter who has done so much. He's trying to look behind, not knowing that he's the one I want to call. Dr. Eze Ogali in the house. Please put your hands together. This is one man who has been the developmental plank of development from the various kinds of BBC, you name it, and has adorned the arts, theater, music, film with so much passion and has given so much. But sometimes, they don't like being seen. But we know he's here in the house. Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the greatness of every enterprise is relative only to the size of the brain that has created it. And so today we are talking about 22 years of Abuja Film Village. It speaks volume of just a central figure who started from nothing to something. It will be a disservice, it will be unfair if we don't rise on our feet and appreciate the man who has been pushing this thing, silent one. I remember those days in Nollywood, 1992, 93, 94. We did so much as a director. We did so much as whatever producer. He directed. He became a president of the Directors Guild, one of the founders of the Directors Guild. And how can you have a man who has pushed this great enterprise for 22 years in this house and you don't appreciate that person? It's an insult and a disservice. May we rise as we give him a respect. Sir, sit down, sir. Take your flowers. May we rise and as we appreciate the erudite, modest, humble, hard-working Nigerian Fidelis Duka chief who has been at various courts chatting, making sure the creative industry assumes a tall platform. 22 years is not a joke. Let's put our hands together once more for him. God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. He cannot threaten me. Thank God. If he was owing me balance and I was to collect balance, I would have been threatened at this particular thing. But they owe me balance. So we have no choice, brother. You have done well, sir. You have done well, sir. I don't know why they have not given you OON, OFR, CON. You are one of those who should receive it because you have done well for this industry. Quietly, international, he breathes in. And when he goes there, he gives so much wisdom over how many decades. How else can you be patriotic? God bless you, sir. God bless you. We also have in the house another great woman who has been doing so much to make sure the Abuja Film Village stands strong and tall. Madam Beatrice Ibol, the coordinator. If she's in the house, madam, my dear sister, that's not the best you can do. Look at, even if you can't clap for her person, look at what the way she wear now. Resplendent. You have a resplendent applause. God bless you, man. God bless you. I don't look for you. I don't look for you. As waterside people. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this event is a brief one, and without much ado, it's time for the keynote address. And I believe the organizers, especially my brother, Chief Fidelis Duka, must have had a reason for choosing just one person to do justice to this assignment. Without much ado, with a resounding applause, a flourishing one for the keynote address, can we actually give him a keynote applause, none else but to Mr. Temitope Ajayi, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity. Let's put our hands together and welcome you to the microphone for the keynote address.
Good morning. This is It's not 12 noon yet. I want to welcome all of you to this event. And I'm sure this hall will have been filled to capacity. But there are three important Nollywood or film industry events taking place almost simultaneously in Nigeria today. And I think it's one of them started 2 days ago or through the weekend. I know that AFRIF is happening in Lagos, and there is AMA Award on Saturday. So, but for those of you who are here, I want to appreciate you for coming to honor the invitation of one of the veterans of the industry. Now, I want to dive into my keynote, but before I do that, let me start with my opening comment. I want to express my shock and surprise as to why Mr. Fidelis Duka, a renowned filmmaker and now a media mogul, will consider me the appropriate person to deliver a keynote address at this year's Abuja Film Festival. One, I am not a filmmaker. I am also not a film critic or a film researcher. Of course, I made a lot of protestations to him why I should not be invited to be a keynote speaker, but in all of this, he rejected my protests. I told him that I have a lot of inadequacies on why this task should belong to someone else, but nobody can say no to Mr. Duka. He insisted that I must carry out this unenviable task. Well, I'm here. I will do the best to make sense to you all with the hope that my academic background in English and literary studies will be enough to carry me through. The organizers of this important film festival have asked me to speak on the topic, which is also the theme for this year's event, From Script to Nation, the role of film in shaping global identity. I want to take the liberty and my poetic license to adjust the topic. For me, the idea of a global identity is in its very self very fluid, incongruous, and debatable. So it's going to be an open-ended debate whether we have a global identity. I don't think there is one global identity that over 7 billion people on the face of Earth subscribe to, despite the influence of pop culture that is sweeping across the globe among the younger generation who are digital natives, or what they call net citizens. Digital media may be breaking communication and cultural barriers and helping us to see and appreciate other cultures. It must be clearly said that people around the world still organize around their cultural and national identities. So I'm happy to see our friends from Egyptian embassy and Iranian embassy and other embassies here. And I know the Iranians are very proud of their Persian heritage. So you cannot lump them under one global identity. So as our friends from Egypt. For the purpose of this assignment, I have decided to adjust the topic to the role of film in shaping national identity as opposed to global identity. Cinema holds a unique position in shaping and reflecting national identity, acting as a mirror that reflects historical events, cultural values, and societal issues. In an increasingly globalized world, films have become pivotal instruments for nations to construct and communicate their identity, making it crucial to understand their influence. It is important to stress at this point that film or cinema, as the case may be, has become more than just a medium of entertainment. It has become a veritable tool for cultural identity, cultural decolonization, and most of all, for diplomacy and for shaping a nation's identity, including showcasing its language, fashion, food, and moral codes. Film has also become soft power. Through films whose foundation is in the script. Of course, you cannot have a good film without good script. So the foundation of a good film is the scripting and the story we want to tell. Through film whose foundation is the script, we see how narratives help to build bridges, challenges stereotypes, and make a statement of identity and invite the world to see our country, Nigeria, for example, differently. Thus, shaping how the world perceives any country where film is made. And in much of my presentation, I will be using Nigeria as a case study because that's the country I know better. Films like Wedding Party from the stable of Moabudu-led Ebony Production have projected Nigeria's high society and Yoruba Owambe culture to the world, such that Europeans, Asians, and Americans now copy our fashion, our party settings, music, and food. Even you now see, if you go on TikTok, on social media, you see a lot of foreigners now doing Nigerian-themed weddings. You see them wearing our traditional attires. That is the power of film. That is the power of motion picture. They saw some of this in our creative expressions through our films. Since the film Wedding Party was made in 2016, it appears there have been more Europeans marrying Nigerian girls in cultural marriages. Examples of films that have helped shape our global perception and identity include Lion's Heart by Genevieve Nnaji, through which Nigeria was seen as a nation of industrious people and people who are family-centered and are concerned about gender equity. Films such as Black Panther and Three Cooked Dishes reimagined Africa and Nigeria as a proud, futuristic, and sophisticated country. These films and many others help to present our people as complex, resilient, confident, powerful, strategic, and unbreakable. Globally, films like Slumdog Millionaire made the world to re-examine Indians' vibrancy, struggles, poverty, and economic prosperity and triumph. The Titanic and Avatar remind us that film can define entire generation's sense of love, ambition, and consequences. Filmmakers must continue to make film that do not just shape how the world sees us, but also shape how we see ourselves. We should strive to make films that celebrate our culture, our heritage, our humanity, that shapes our identity. Now, understanding national identity. National identity refers to the sense of belonging of a nation, encompassing shared cultural characteristics, heritage, language, and common history. Cinema continues to shape national identity through storytelling, imagery, symbolism, and preserve cultural heritage. Films often depict traditional practices, folklore, historical events, helping to keep this aspect of our culture alive for future generations. We also know that film and cinema foster national unity. By showcasing shared experiences, cinema can promote solidarity among diverse groups within a nation. We have also seen how films have challenged stereotypes, even in our country and across the world. Many films confront cultural stereotypes and offer nuanced perspectives, paving the way for more inclusive national identity. Then I want to go into about 3 case studies on how cinema or film influences national identity. We take example from Bollywood and the India identity. Some of what we know about India, their culture, their dances, their music, is what we saw through their films. Bollywood has played an essential role in shaping modern India identity with its vibrant songs, dances, and dramatic narratives. Bollywood's films reflect India's multifaceted society, encompassing different religions, languages, and culture. American cinema and the American dream. I remember most of us here, the reason why we all wanted to japa or ever dream of traveling to any part of Europe or North America is because of what we saw in American films where we are growing up. We saw the high rises, we saw New York, we saw Washington, D.C., we saw Atlanta, and they all look so fascinating, and we all aspire to live and work in those environments. But if we had seen the dingy, decrepit, and dirty part of Brooklyn or Harlem in New York, I'm not sure any of us would want to go to America. So I think that is a lesson for us as for Nigerian filmmakers. When we are telling our stories through our film, we should tell the story of the best of our country. We should tell the stories of our national heroes and national icons. We have historical figures, we have historical films that we can make. You know, sometimes about a few years ago, I was in Kenya and some part of Southern Africa region. Of course, Nigerian movies are very popular in the Caribbean, in South Africa, and in East Africa. But until recent, the first thing they ask you when you get to Kenya or any part of East Africa, whether Ethiopia or Burundi or Rwanda, the first thing they ask you is if all of us in Nigeria are juju priests. Because at the time in Hollywood, virtually all of our films were built around the themes of one wicked man or one wicked woman trying to change the destiny of his or her stepdaughter or her stepson. But of course, that is changing now with some of our, with what they call the new Nollywood. So we are seeing more thematic areas around our politics, around our culture, and around our historical figures. So I think we must continue in this light. Then there's also part of Africa where they see all Nigerians as very wealthy because, of course, thank for a better portrayal also of our environment. Because when people see those Ikoyi and the very popular Lekki Ikoyi Bridge and all the beautiful parts of Lagos and Abuja in our films, they all think that we are all billionaires in Nigeria. I think that's the kind of narrative we need to begin to tell the world about our country. French cinema and cultural pride. French films often explore themes of existentialism and historical reflection, highlighting the complexities of French culture and identities. Directors like Francois Truffaut and Agnès Varda have used cinema to delve into France's past, present, and they have used their films to delve into France's past and present and fostering national pride. Now, the role of documentaries which is also a motion picture, in shaping national identity. Documentaries have emerged as vital tools for cultural discourse, offering insight into national events that may have been overlooked or misrepresented in mainstream cinema or media. Films such as 13, Won't You Be My Neighbor, among others, provide eye-opening perspectives that shape public perception and policy in Pakistan, for example, and some part of Southeast Asia. Now I want to go to the benefit of understanding the role of cinema in influencing cultural awareness. Engaging with cinema helps individuals understand different cultures and perspectives, and cinema helps to promote dialogue. Movies can spark conversations about national issues and cultural identity. Then there are many destinations around the world, especially in, say, Turkey, for example, Egypt, Iran, and Dubai, Doha, Dubai, and some other parts of Middle East that we want to go to, just by virtue of the fact that we saw some of those destinations in movies. So, and I think this is one area Nigerian filmmakers also need to work on. Let's begin to show many parts of our country as destination for tourism, so that through that, many other filmmakers from outside Nigeria can come and shoot their movies in Nigeria. In conclusion, as a powerful medium, cinema not only entertains, but also plays a fundamental role in shaping and expressing national identity. Understanding this influence allows us to appreciate the cultural narratives shared through film and how they contribute to our shared sense of identity. As we engage with cinema from various countries, we embrace a global dialogue that fosters unity and understanding across borders. Thank you for your attention, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. You can do much better than that. I like the dimension of the keynote address, and I love the fact that Chief Fidelis Duka had to force you into this narrative. It's indeed a good one. Let's put our hands together once more. One thing I make bold to say by virtue of my practice in this industry, because if a man has put in 36 years in an industry, it means he ain't a baby anymore. Give Nollywood her flowers. There is nothing like new Nollywood or old Nollywood. There is just one Nollywood, and it is the foundation on which, from which, and by which what you call Nollywood today exists. So I also want to say, if there's anything we have done over the years, is the fact that we have been so wonderful with our script. I remember in my university days, and thank God he's here, Dr. Eze Ogali wrote a script, This Land of the Solomons. And in that script, as a young man in the university, you could picture Nigeria as it is happening today. And that speaks volume to the prophetic nature of some of the things we have written. Not only from, I use the word script here, cutting across theater, cutting across our dances. These are parameters. I make bold to say, sir, as you go back and you are a policy maker, let it be deliberate that policymakers should see our movie industry as a magic wand to check our depth of propaganda, to send messages that cut across those from the bottom up, because that is what the power of the film industry is, a mind bender. My fear is that if it is not handled well, like the illustration of a brand new razor blade, you use it well, it gives you a clean cut. You use it wrongly, it cuts, and when it cuts deep. And so this theme is to set the agenda for intentionality by our various governments and various countries here to understand that in today's world, the power of the creative industry cannot be undermined or toyed with. And guess what? The script is king, not the actors. The biggest actor is a script that was written by somebody. And all the actor needed to do was to move from the role in place of characterization to birth. You can't birth from nothing. You birth from that which has been created. And if there's one thing we've done, we've been so just to our stories. The typical Nigerian story respects the concept of verisimilitude that reflects in the French neoclassic era, which says every work of art must harbor in it the concept of truthfulness. And that's what we have done in our movies. We have painted our Ajegunle as Ajegunle, not like. And when we painted Ajegunle like Ajegunle, people came out to just want to have a stint in our Ajegunle. We have painted Abba as Abba. And this is what you have to give to our script writers, because from script, it means so much allusion, so much appreciation to all those who have written great scripts that have kept our industry alive till today. May I crave your indulgence to please put your hands together for them. While we spoke, we have two other embassies that came in. Son Excellence Hossein Mesut from Embassy of Algeria is in the house. Can we please put the hands together for him? And in that same vein, invite himself for a brief goodwill message, just as your other members of the diplomatic corps, so that you won't say, well, from Embassy of Algeria, we did not give you opportunity. Just say something in line with this team. So let's put our hands together as we invite him to the microphone. Thank you, sir. Yeah. You have to come up, sir. Let's put our hands together for him.
Now who go there by your side if you walk out through fire, fire? Follow you standing inside the fire. Now who love me, I don't know. Now who love us, we don't love. Who go believe you? When the whole world is calling you a liar, liar.
Good morning, everyone. I would like first to thank the organizing committee for the invitation to attend this opening ceremony of the 22nd festival, Abuja International Film Festival. And I want to seize this opportunity to congratulate you for the considerable efforts exerted, as well as your team, for the development of the cinematographic activities in Abuja and Nigeria as well. I wish you all the best and success for the festival, and I renew my sincere thanks for the invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We also have from Bangladesh, the embassy there, Minul Kobit. Let's put the hands together for him as he comes to the microphone for his goodwill message.
Hello, good morning to all present. First of all, like my predecessor, His Excellency Ambassador of Algeria. I would like to thank the organizers of this film festival for inviting me. And I wish every success of this festival. And I am sure that through this expression or the screening of films, Nigeria and other viewers will be able to know much about the culture of this country. And thanks all, and I wish every success of this festival.
Success all the way from Bangladesh. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, from senior partner Ndoma Egba, Ndoma Egba, we have a barrister Dimeji Adebayo who is here representing that. Yeah. Are you the one, sir? God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I got your name because I've been itching to make sure I have it. You know, thank God. God bless you, sir. And with that, we want to take some solidarity message this time around from Stinex. And this time, it's not going to be a talk. It's not going to be words. It's going to be through some great choreography. The woman behind this, Esther, is one of Nigeria's finest choreographers who has taken so much in this business, walking a long walk, great walk across the world. And how do we have Abuja Film Festival without her leaving her mark? Let's put our hands together once more, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for Stinex as they come on stage. Thank you.
Man, I need to see you every day. We gotta stay in touch. And right now, Musimbol or no, whether you like or not. Joe, my shake me carry lay. We this your big bomb bomb. You left me with no option, gone. I don't feel the night on God. And if you jack up, all I want is your love. Don't revive me, Gaga. I don't go like if you forget it, Baba. Cause the touch of my time will give me your love. My face ain't Gaga. Oh, my neck in on. Cause you are the one I love. You are the one I trust. You do me jaddy now. Oh, you friend, lock on. And if you like bygones, be bygones. So my baby, you lock on. You do me jaddy.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
All right, thank you so much. Let's put our hands together once more for them. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? Huh? You say? Small play. Lovely, okay. You're speaking lovely in your vernacular. You would have just spoken your language. Let me know it's your language you're speaking. Put your hands together for everyone here. Thank you so much. Like the Abuja Film Festival, there's a lot happening. There's a live streaming online, movies going on right now. And it will be happening at Silverbird. There's a premiere tonight, Obi Emelonye, the erudite director and film producer. His film will be premiering tonight. Do we have students in the house? Raise your hand up. Now, I don't know. Somehow this year, I'm not having my master class, but there is a master class happening. The science of directing. Now, I bet you try as much as possible. Get all you can and can all you can get. Did you hear what I said? Get all you can and can all you can get. You guys are privileged. In our days, there was no such thing as master class. And now you're speaking, you're going to watch or hear from a book that has not been written. Especially the students. The biggest lecture room you will ever have in this business today is the film festival. If you take all the various master classes, you go back to your school, you'll be richer. It's not a joke. You'll be getting the science of directing from a man who is cutting from two ambits. Directing on stage and directing on set. So I beg you, the younger ones, that's the only way we can fill the knowledge gap that is existing in the industry. And so for our embassies too, these are possible ways you can relate with us. Ability to sponsor some of the master classes, it goes a long way. So that in a sense of cultural diplomacy from your own end, what you can do from the Bangladesh, it's a Bangladesh embassy, from Algeria, ability to open your doors, especially in Abuja, so that when we come calling for master classes, you are out there. The best gift you can give this generation, Gen Z, is a right knowledge nuggets that can help them become who they should become, not who they want to become. Who they should become should be in the hands of the parents. And you and I here, everyone gathered here. And so these are the things happening. Obio Melonia will having his master class. Everything today, after the panel discussions, everything ends here. The next shift to Silver Bird, where we've seen the streamings, the various panel discussions, master classes, engagements, and interactions. So just try, go on air. Just make sure you are part and parcel of this whole game. Thank you so much. Without much ado, it's time for us to move straight into the panel discussion. And I'm being told, let me mention all those involved. It's going to be a good one here. When you have the very first panel discussion for an event of this magnitude, it speaks so much to how much these people mean and how much it means to the event itself. We have discussion focus. How do screenwriters and storytellers use film to explore, challenge, and define nations' identity? This panel can explore the unique responsibility of the screenwriter in the country's evolving social landscape. And we'll be privileged to have my dear sister, actor and screenwriter, Stephanie Okay, can we please have the seat? I had asked for the seat for the panel discussion. Can we have it? The ushers and those who are actually involved, can we have all the seats for the panel discussion? I think I talked to them earlier. We also have Miss Beatrice Ibol, who will also be here to be part and parcel of that panel discussion. Can we quickly get the seats on stage? We will also be having Mr. Daniel Wilson. If it's the same Daniel Wilson, I've not seen him in the hall. If it's the, is there another Daniel Wilson in the hall? Daniel Wilson? And I'm seeing Dr. Shoaib Husseini. I'm not sure he's in the house. Dr. Obiora Chukumba, Senior Lecturer, Bayes University, will be there. If it's not in the house, then Chief Fidelis Duca, the convener himself, will be doing justice to this assignment. But first and foremost, can we have the seats? DJ, let's play some music, please.
Tell me where you day. Lati Saturday. I go meet you there. Cause I miss you every day.
So,
Call me any day.
Steph Nora Okere is here. Beatrice Ball is here. Chief Duca, I need your attention, please. Chief Duca, I need your attention, please. They say he's on another panel, and I make bold to say, even if he's going to conk my head or crack my head, Dr. Ezogale, land you on another panel, sir. We need your grains of your brain. Yeah, because I know you are a fantastic script writer, sir. This assignment cannot be bigger than you. You're bigger than the assignment, so give us some nuggets, sir. At least let's have a gender balance in it. Thank you, sir. Dr. Eze Ogale will be on this panel. God bless. Let's put the hands together for them as they begin to come on stage. So we have Steph Nora Okere in the house. Let's give her a resounding applause as she finds her way to the stage. We have Missy Ball in the house. Let's also put our hands together for her as she finds her way. I think I saw her here. Missy Ball. I just saw her here, and Dr. Eze Ogale. It's been long. We drank from you, sir. I go look for my pen and paper. Let's put the hands together for him, man. Let's put the hands together for him. Chief Duca, please. Chief Duca. This particular event awaits you. Mr. Niron Adedoku. Let's put the hands together for Mr. Niron Adedoku if he's in the house. Thank you so much for rescuing this moment. Mr. Niron Adedoku. Let's put the hands together for him. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much. So much, it's fine as it is hot. Let's put that. Can we please put that? Students, if I were you, you should be clapping for this moment. This is a golden moment. You are reading books that have not been written. It's not a joke. If you came here to take selfies, too bad. If I were your lecturer, if your lecturer came here with you, 50 marks, I go through your notes to see what you took from this place. Mr. Chukudum Sidi Akwa is also here, who will be representing Ms. Ibo. That way, say, let's put our hands together for him. So, Chief Duka, please. All right, let's put our hands together for the festival director himself as he takes us through this beautiful course. Can we check and see if our mics are working, sirs? Ma'ams? Okay.
Hello. Hello.
1, 2.
I don't think this is what it's working.
A very good afternoon to everybody, and welcome to this first panel discussion. Even though I'm not the moderator at this point, I'm standing for the moderator who is still on his way. However, I will take up this charge. It's basically about the script as a blueprint for national consciousness. For those who listened to the keynote by the keynote speaker, Mr. Tokwe Ajayi, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, it's very important that we understand why we chose this topic. We chose this topic almost 8 months ago as our theme for the festival. We found it very incumbent that it was very important to begin to look at the Nigerian motion picture industry as a major vehicle for driving our national identity. Yes, in his keynote, he must have mentioned a couple of films. He mentioned The Wedding Party, which glamorized the O1 bear in Nigerian parties and became a norm globally. He also mentioned other films like Lionheart, which shows the industriousness of the Igbo man, which we saw in Lionheart. These are Nigerian films. We've seen several films. And I think I have this distinguished panel. These are men and only one woman, who is also a scriptwriter. She actually majored in scriptwriting at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, came into Nollywood an actress and became a writer. That's my sister, Stephnora Okele, and also rose to become the national vice president of the Screenwriters Guild of Nigeria. And it's a very important one because everything starts with the script. Anywhere in the world, when you look at films start with the script. So I will we'll look at how the scriptwriter has a role to play and storytellers. Of course, on this same panel, we have my brother, Mr. Nilo Adedokun, an author, a journalist of several years. He's been writing since 1990 as a journalist, just about 35 years. He's somebody who has written several on Nollywood and the Nigerian motion picture industry. And of course, on this panel, we have Dr. Eze Ogali Eze. He's a development expert. I call him, you see, for me, Eze's CV is quite long. He started from writing for radio. He's one of the foremost Nigerian writers on radio. Most of the radio dramas, if you count 20 radio dramas in Nigeria, at least 15 has he spent. The BBC story that was very popular at the point in time, he was fully involved in it, and he has developed several writers along that line. Is here. I think these are, and of course, our last brother from the Abuja Film Village. What's the name? CD Aqua from the, okay, representing Miss Beatrice Ibo. Fantastic. So I will start with Steph. I will start with Steph. Let it be ladies first. I'll start with Steph. Steph, looking at the Nigerian cultural space, Kelly film, as Nigerian film really told the Nigerian story. have we been able to tell the Nigerian story with our films, the true Nigerian story?
Yes, I believe so. But I still think we can tell more stories. We have a lot of stories to tell as Nigerians. And why I say that is because Nigeria has diverse culture, traditions, way of life, fashion. But over the years, we have been somehow fixated on the 3 or maybe 4 major tribes or 5. But I want to understand that Nigeria has, without exaggerating, almost 200 languages and almost 50-something, or even more, almost 50-something tribes. But so far, I will not take away the fact that the industry has, in a very immense and major way, portrayed the culture and tradition of Nigeria, talking about the major tribes that have been so far recognized in the country when it comes to outside. I remember once I went to Sierra Leone, or was it Liberia, and I had some other artists with me. We all went to shoot a film. And when they saw us, they were bowing to the men and saying, Igwe. You know, that's to say that through the film, they know that the kings, at least one of the ethnic groups, their king is referred to as Igwe. And also, I saw a lot of people dressed in Nigerian cultural attires like Ashoke, Adire, and the rest of it. And I can say categorically that none of this would have been very visible to the outside world if not through Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry. So I can say we have done well, but I know we can do better.
I'll still come back to you with another question, but let me quickly jump to Dr. Eze quickly. There's this growing argument by creatives that the government is aloof to the potentials of using this industry, that's through scripts, to tell their own narratives. However, when there is a major issue, they now want to do the fire brigade approach. Do you subscribe to that argument? And do you think government has been able to use these platforms as a vehicle?
And we know that when it comes to art, right? Art is a very strong vehicle that any government can actually use to market itself. Nigerian governments, past and present, will not be bold enough to say that. You know,
be bold. No oaths back. Say it.
I think that apart from the government of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who made that time to fund, you know, this industry, I don't think that any other government has been bold enough to be able to understand the power of the film, how you can use film to shape national identity, how you can use film to mobilize and unite a nation. That, for me, is something that is really missing. Besides the film industry building the national economy, contributing globally to our national identity, just like my sister Stephanie just said here, first thing that happens once you step out of this country to any other African country and identify yourself as a Nigerian, the first thing they start asking you, how is Francis Duru? How is Ramsey Noah? And they think you know these people. And they are superstars in their own ways. But if we look at the state of the nation, the insurgency happening in this country, you will expect that a meaningful government will really look through this sector and say, how might we use entertainment? How might we use fame to solve this problem? So I think I am bold to say that government have not really been, paid attention to harness the power that this sector can offer to the nation.
Okay. Now you have mentioned government. Let me quickly jump to CD. CD is not government. I will not say CD is government. However, CD works for an agency which has some level of government funding, the Abuja Film Village. And this has been a project that has been on for over 30 years. Over 30 years in the federal capital, with a massive over 100 hectares of land somewhere after Kuje that we've not been able to access. We can't even go there. I heard the last time some people went there, they could not even access the place because it's now a mining site. Now, let me come back to you. Now, Eze just mentioned something very fundamental, that government, apart from the government of Goodluck Jonathan, who was deliberate, had a film fund and all that, to the Bola Tinubu government, to a large extent, there have been some talks about some fundings we are expecting. Let's be very fair to them. They just launched the Creative Economic Development Fund, CEDF, that people applied for. We are waiting to see whether it will come to pass, but you're right. You can only talk about the one that has been, that we saw and was done. So back to you, Sidi. Now, the Abuja Film Village is something the industry has looked up to. If the Abuja Film Village was in place now, that's where this festival would have held, because it would have been a home. Now, my question to you is, looking at film, do you think government now, because you, even if you are a consultant to government, has government showed that commitment to believing that this industry is a tool? Because like even the president's speech mentioned it there, that even America today that we know, it is based on what film has done for you. I was happy he said it. Have they also realized that they could use this same industry, this film, to sell this government? Back to you, sir. It's a very catch-22 question, but go ahead, Sid.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Francis. So I would like to start by mentioning that where I come from, we have a saying that if a man does not know where he's coming from, he will not know where he's going. And when we look at Nollywood, I agree with my sister that Nollywood has done a lot, really, to show who the Nigerian truly is. I think we can do a lot more because the history of a people truly defines who they are. And when we explore more historical stories, then we are able to tell people that, oh, Nigerians are not really like this. This is who we are. This is where we're coming from. And government today, especially in the FCT, has taken that very seriously. The Abuja Film Village has a large expanse of land, like you said, that was allocated to it. And it's in Kusaki after Kuje. And yes, we do have access to it. In fact, as I speak to you, that entire facility is being fenced. I think the fencing is almost done. And that is a prelude to the takeoff of the film village itself. Before that, we have allocated to us 1 hectare of land at Dakwa, where we have actually started constructing the film village. And the idea of the film village is we want to build a hub where all filmmakers can come and do what they have to do concerning film. And they are not too bothered by the challenges that we face, such as sourcing for equipment, sourcing for cast, locations, sourcing for accommodation. These things are challenging in Abuja. And the government has said, well, because we recognize the benefits that entertainment and film can do for us, we are ready to support this industry by creating this area for filmmakers to come together and do what it is that they need to do. But they haven't just stopped there. We are actively investing funds in building a studio, a world-class studio for filmmaking, right? This studio will be there at the Dakwa site. In addition to that, there will be an office block where we will have smaller studios and offices for all the below-the-line activities in filmmaking. So we're talking about props, we're talking about set making, set design, we're talking about studios for sound editing, for film editing. All of these things are going to be there. And then there's going to be a residency where people who are shooting films can bring their cast and crew and camp them while they're shooting in the studio. Obviously, this is not something that is going to happen overnight, But as I speak to you, we have broken ground. We've started building. We are doing our best to engage with our partners so that we can raise the funds that we need, because obviously government cannot provide all the funding. Yes, so we are actively engaging with our partners to bring in more funds so that this project will truly be something that all of us in the film industry will be proud of.
Okay. I know I'll still come back to you on this theme of the subject of this panel. Yeah. I just wanted a background so that the other panelists can understand where you're coming from. I'll quickly go back with Mr. Adelokun. You've been a writer, author, journalist, written about film, television for over almost 30 years, if not more. Looking at the ecosystem, the entire ecosystem, because I will talk about script now, the writers. Do you think the quality of scripts being churned out as regards the same issue of our national identity meet, in quote, the global standard?
Thank you. The first question I think we should ask is, what exactly is national identity? For a country like Nigeria, do we really have what you can call a national identity? Because art...
You want Eze to come and talk more, eh?
Because art represents life. And it is what... it's a reflection of what writers see that they will produce. So in my opinion, I think there is a fundamental... So writers are capable of producing what reflects Nigeria. But the question is, does Nigeria even have a definition of what its identity is? So the Yoruba can say, oh, this is who we are. The Igbo can say, the Efik can say, this is who we are. You know, and I've seen movies in all sorts of dialects and all of that.
Like Steph mentioned.
But as a country, what exactly is the identity? What does Nigeria want to be? There are things about America, for instance. When you say, I mean, the lecture earlier, like you were saying, mentioned America. There are things that, from watching an American film, you would imagine that this portrays America.
Yes.
What exactly is that thing that Nigerians, you know, that the country wants to be seen as? So, in my mind, there is a fundamental problem that as Nigerians, we are unable to agree on the particular identity that we want people to see of our country. And so that limits what the writer can also do in terms of the question that you have had.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Do we produce quality scripts? We are hampered from producing quality scripts as it concerns the identity of Nigeria, because in my own opinion, Nigeria has not even defined what it wants to be seen as.
Thank you. That's your last point. Takes me to the next one. My next question is to, before I come to Steph, to Eze. National identity. You just mentioned a very key point, which is very important. The Americans, if you travel to any city in America, maybe New York, or even the Harlem that you mentioned that looks like a Jegunle, you must see, after every 2 buildings, you see an American flag hanging in front of the house. It's a pride to put that American flag. Even when on Independence Day, you see those boys in traffic selling flag, people hardly buy. Is it because as Nigerians now, and that also reflects in our story, we don't believe in the Nigerian identity, or we don't have an identity?
I think that one of the major mistakes we make when we talk about national identity is that we intend to look at it from ethnic lenses, if you understand what I mean. For me, what is Nigeria's national identity? Nigeria's national identity to me is in our diversity and how we are able to manage those diversities. That for me is what I want to see that defines Nigeria. Just like Stephanie said, we have over 250 ethnic nationalities in this about space that we have now. Question is, how are we all able to dwell together in spite of our different languages, in spite of our different cultures, in spite of our different religious beliefs? That, for me, is an identity that Nigeria should be aspiring, to project and see how, we are able to put that out. Yes, I'm glad that Americans are happy to, display their national flags and all that. If that is how they intend, to show their identity or patriotism, so be it. But then again, we all know that why an average American, for instance, will be so bold and patriotic to show the Americanness is because whenever that individual needs America, the America stands up for that particular individual. Can we then say the same to ourselves as Nigerians, that whenever you need Nigeria, Nigeria will rise up for you? I mean, we're all here in this country when the Americans flew hundreds and thousands of miles to come into Nigeria to extract one citizen that was abducted by terrorists. One citizen. They broke the banks to come in and extract that individual. And we didn't even know that something like that happened until the young man has gone home safely. We have Nigerians dropping dead on the roads, Nigerians dying in kidnappers' den. How many times have Nigeria as a nation come out to stand up for that individual? That in itself becomes a national problem that Nigeria needs to address. So when my colleague asked that question, what does Nigeria really as a nation want to be identified with? That's the area we should be able to
Fantastic point there. Take me back to Steph. As a writer and a script writer, importantly, he has mentioned diversity, he mentioned national identity. One important point I want to ask is, I recall a year ago or two, the Inspector General of Police came out to complain that Nigerian filmmakers, that's from the script now, depicts our policemen as corrupt. And that takes me to what Eze just ended with, the image. What image do you sell? Can you, as a writer, for patriotism's sake, even when you know that as you are coming to your office to write the script, you are accosted on the road by a policeman who demanded for this name, and the next scene you are writing is about a policeman who collects bribe and you want to change the script. How do you balance patriotism and telling the truth as a writer?
Okay, thank you very much. I want to start by mentioning a very popular phrase: he who pays the piper dictates the tune. A writer is the most free-minded person, one. A writer can only perform when given a leveraged playing ground. What I mean by that is your brain, you are not limited by ideals of anybody. You just open your mind and you start to write. The writer can write because of what he or she is seeing in his or her environment. So a writer writes a story as he sees it. But if the government now wants the writer to paint a picture of a beautiful police, beautiful army, beautiful politicians, beautiful government officials, then the government have to consciously engage writers to that effect. And by the time you engage writers, you would have engaged filmmaking and so on and so forth. So what am I saying in essence? I'm a producer, aside from being a writer, and all the films I've produced, it's always been, I have this fantastic idea. A man and his wife blah, 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 or I have this fantastic idea. A young man went on the road. I just create. Nobody is giving me money to produce a film. I'm not bound to go ahead and produce a film to tell a particular story. As much as I try my best, knowing that through the census board, there are some things you cannot see about the country. So I stay within those lines. And I make sure I don't say anything that portrays the country in bad light. But there's really nothing from the government that is giving me that urge to go and paint this particular patriotic story. Not that anybody who writes a creative story without painting government good or bad is not patriotic. It's just a poetic license, as they call it. So I want to say that if the government wants the industry, or let me say writers, to consciously paint a certain picture about their agencies, the politicians, and even the culture and tradition of our land, they have to also have an incursion into the industry and the writer and the rest of it. So yes, writers have written scripts, pictures have been painted, movies have been shot depicting police people as corrupt. That is that writer's story. I don't know if you understand me. If I'm employed today now by a government agency to write a story, for instance, if you watch an American movie, by the time you finish watching the movie, you will be sitting there for another hour to watch the credits. Those credits are supporters of that movie. And most times, the story of that movie goes about to talk about the vision, the mission, the projects of those supporters. So I really think he who pays the piper takes the tune.
Don't you think it's a conflict? I can see Eze not shaking his head no.
Okay.
If it's a conflict, however, I'll come to you, but let me go to City, where this, and I know, let's remember that we have students here who will ask questions, because for them, it's key. There are young students in the university now, either in theater, mass comm, English, and film, who will also want to tap from your knowledge. There's a conflict, and I can see it, they say, no, that is propaganda. If government gives you money, and that is argument. And even not to, Steph is a producer who wants to make a film. If you want me to make a film for you, tell me. However, you come back to me. I know the argument will continue, but let me allow CD. CD, you are government to an extent. How do you, yes, you are a consultant to government. How will you marry that argument? Because the argument is that government will, most times, it's not only the police, most government agencies have complained about Nigerian films. And what the Nigerian filmmaker will tell you, did you give me money to make my film? That's the argument. Sometimes it's not about money. It's about what Eze and Nilo mentioned. If the basic, there's nowhere in the world you don't have corrupt policemen. Nowhere. However, you see more of the good than the bad, because there are consequences for bad behavior. Now, I take you to my question to you. Your agency, because the Abuja Film Village is quite important, and that's why I'm very clear about you guys. In all fairness, in the last 1 year, you guys have shown some level of understanding and engaging the stakeholders. I saw some pictures 2 days ago. You engaged the music industry. I saw you invited Two-Face and all that. You've engaged Jim Ike. So Steph is here. These engagements are very key and very important. However, it goes beyond engaging. What is that marriage? Because it's not coming to talk to them. How will your agency, beyond propaganda, create that environment? You mentioned the orb and all that. How can you create that environment where this national identity, where even the Abuja Film Village is not for Abuja alone, it's a national institution, because this is our federal capital. Everybody owns Abuja. Everybody in Nigeria owns Abuja. Because so my question to you is, how will you create that marriage between the filmmakers and government, so that it's not sounding like propaganda where Eze and Nilo say, no, don't go and collect money and go and do the film to make them when they are criminals out there. Yes.
Thank you very much. I would like to...
After this one, we'll take questions from the...
Yeah, I'd like to come from this point of view. My brother said that art is life. And the people that trained us said that art imitates life and life imitates art. In our government agencies, in our country as a whole, there are good people, there are bad people. The challenge we have is that for many of us, our narrative is being shaped by other people's media, not ours, right? So every day we hear that Nigeria is a corrupt nation. Every day we hear that they did this, they did that, they didn't do the other. As we speak currently, there are valiant men and women at the forefront of the war with the terrorists, and they're dying on a daily basis for their country. There are policemen that are standing up for what is right. There are people who are doing good, but their stories many times are not told completely. And I think that as filmmakers, as scriptwriters, it is our responsibility to find these stories and tell these stories. The more we find these stories and tell them, the more people will take pride in the fact that they are Nigerian. And the more they take pride in the fact that they are Nigerian, the more they will stand up for what is right. Because art imitates life and life imitates art. At the Film Village, we are not just building brick and mortar. We're not just setting up structures. We also intend to go into the actual business of filmmaking. And we at the Film Village intend to find these stories and tell them. We intend to go out to look for things that uplift us about being Nigerian. And we will tell these stories as much as we can so that we too will have a balanced view of what it is like being a Nigerian, living in Nigeria. I remember there was about 2 or 3 years ago, I was in another country and I met a man who said to me that he had never seen or spoken to a black person in his entire life. He's Irish. And even though he had never seen or spoken to a black person physically, he knew JJ Okocha because he's a football fan. He knew Victor Osimhen. And he knew, of course, about our music. He knew about our food. He knew about our culture, our tradition, our clothing. And that is because our entertainment industry has taken our identity through music and shared it with the world, right? Our young people on social media, they've started all sorts of crazy challenges. A while ago, it was the fufu and egusi soup challenge. And everywhere you went, you would see white people, oh, I'm about to try fufu and egusi and all of that. And many of them liked it. And at the end of the day, today, Nigerian restaurants in the diaspora are doing very well because our food has gone before us. We can apply the same thing, and that is what we want to do at the Abuja Film Village. Apply the same principles. Take the good and tell it, magnify it, and the more we do that, the more art will imitate life, and the more life will imitate art. Thank you.
Sidi. Let me just allow, I saw it is not in just 1 minute before I take questions. Yes,
so thank you. And thank you, Stephanie, for actually raising that issue. It's very, very important. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. But then again, for the interest of our student audience, one thing we need to understand is that, and Fidelis, this is coming from when I used to teach creative writing, and I'll say mirror the society, right? And that is the job of the scriptwriter. And that is what makes your work believable, realistic, right? But then I think that the writer has 2 roles to play. First role is describe the society as you see it. That's the role 1. And the role 2 is look at the society, but use your art to define how you want it to be. So, are there corrupt policemen? Yes. When you mention Nigeria globally, first thing that comes to mind is corruption. Even come to inside this country now, they tell you Nigeria is corrupt. Again, like he said, are we all corrupt? We are not all corrupt. Even if we are all corrupt, is that the identity that I want to go with? It then becomes the role of the scriptwriter to take the situation you have seen, portray it the way it is, and then provide a roadmap on how you think we can change that society. So besides entertainment, film is also a tool for behavior change. And I think that is also where Nollywood need to also start to begin to focus. It's not just about commercial movies, but movies that can also help people make informed decisions.
Thank you very much. Brilliant one. Behavioral change. Neil, quickly.
Yes, but pretty much what you just said now is what the average movie does in Nigeria. There is really no movie you watch where you see people not get consequences for bad behavior, whether it's a corrupt policeman, whatever it is. But the reality is that there is the lived lives of the people. There is the lived reality of people, which you cannot deny. It is not the role of the scriptwriter to change the behavior of the people. It is the role of the leadership of the country to lead the country into the identity that a country must create. So the scriptwriter can write forever. I mean, I haven't seen any movie that ends without consequences for bad behavior. I mean, I can't remember anything like that. But how much has that translated into changing the behavior of the people? However, when we see people who lead the country change the way they behave, they lead by example, then the script writers can also take a cue from them, and everybody can work together as to defining what the country wants to be. And finally, I want to talk about the idea of patriotism.
I'll give you a final comment. All that.
Okay.
Keep that for your final comment. After the questions. Yes, madam, quickly. 1 minute.
Okay, this is what I want to...
Are there questions? Are there questions? Fantastic.
Okay, what I want to say quickly is this, as I've always said in any forum like this, talking about government, talking about the narrative that is the national identity, talking about how the industry, through, of course, scripting, can write and rewrite the narrative of the Nigerian society. I want to once again say that the government need to make a conscious effort. By the way, I'm delighted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm delighted to hear about the Film Village. I'm glad the level you have gotten to. I hope it can be faster. Why I say that, this is my 30 years in Nollywood. And Nollywood was already, our own present Nollywood was already 2-3 years before I stepped in. So 30 years is a long time. We have told the story. We the willing, led by the unknown, have done so much with so little. Now we are qualified to do anything with nothing. What do I mean? We started, you know how we started Nollywood. Uncle give you money. You make 2 films. You sell, you don't make money. You go and borrow money, make another one. So what I'm trying to say is narrative, national consciousness, national narrative. There is the Nigerian Bars Association. There is agricultural people have their own. There are so many parastatals bodies in the country, occupations and everything, and government has supported them one day or the other. That way they are able to stand. Nollywood is just standing on its own. By the time, I'm not saying government should give individual filmmakers money or writers money to write good stories. Support the industry to the point where we feel not compelled, but we feel is a point of duty. Nonetheless, like he has said, our films have always, like the theater ethics is entertain, educate, and punish bad against evil against good. That's what we do basically, no matter how we portray maybe police or anything. So please, quickly, all I'm just trying to say is, we are glad the Film Village is on. It can be faster. I know it's not in your office to make it faster, but whatever government can do, we have waited by the sideline long enough. So let's all come to this Nigerian table, tell the story right. If that's what the government wants, then government should also look at the industry as a very viable industry that has impacted the economy of this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Steph. Quickly, Sidi.
All right, thank you.
1 minute.
Yes, I would like to just react briefly to what you said. I agree completely that government can do more. Because the truth is that the United States that we see today is shaped by the United States media, right? And this was a deliberate plan that was developed sometime in the 30s and in the 40s. And this is what we are seeing today. Currently, the Ukraine, when Russia invaded Ukraine, the Ukrainian government gathered certain scriptwriters, filmmakers, and used them as a tool to tell the world what Russia was doing. Yes, I agree, the government can do more, and the government is doing more. However, it is our responsibility as creators to create. We cannot all go down the same road. A writer spoke about the road less taken, right? There are stories every day that we can use to portray the fact that it is not always like this. And we have to remember that as Nigerians, whether we like it or not, we are invested in this thing called Nigeria. And so while we see society as what it is, we can also see society as what we would like it to be. I remember the story of the guy, I think he was in Kano, that found $10,000 and returned it. That's a story for film. Why did he do that? It wasn't because he had money at home. These are the stories that we should explore. These are the values that through our script writing, we can teach. And these are some of the things that we intend to do through the Film Village.
Thank you, Sidi.
Thank you.
Let's take, we have, I can see Francis coming to tell us to get out of that place. We will soon leave. We have just the questions now. Start with the gentleman in blue. Your name, please. No, yes. Okay, go on.
Okay, hi. My name is Kenneth Yang.
Oh, Kenneth Yang.
Yes. Hi, sir. How's it going?
Thank
you for a very beautiful panel. And mine is
Tell
not,
them you're a filmmaker.
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker, actually. Mine is not, it's not a question. I just want to just comment just on a few things. In as much as I agree that the government has something to do, right? And just like what Stephanie said, what she's just trying to say is that there has to actually be a sort of like national funding that can help filmmakers to be able to write the sort of stories without any sort of like commercial pressure. Because we're talking about writing, and people just like write things that they feel is just going to make them money at the end of the day quickly, right? And that is actually why sometimes we have problems with the writing in itself. I just want to say, because we have young people here, what I just want to say is that when you look at in 2024, there's a film called The Seed of the Sacred Fig, right? It's an Iranian film and very successful. But what is the film about? The film is about the hijab riots that happened in Iran. But then the way it is actually written, it is about a father who has 2 daughters, and they have a friend who was actually involved in that. And as the story goes on, it becomes a sort of like, family conflicts, even though the father works for the secret police and they are the ones who are doing all of these things. So yes, I understand that they are good people, they are bad people, but I think mostly the problems that we have with our writing is not really looking at a very good character that you're going to actually explore in your film, and that character is going to be the one that, and with all the things that are happening around him, that particular character, that is the sort of like thing that is going to give a sort of, at the end of the day, whether all the messaging that you want people to just like get. So for me, 2 things. A, there has to be a sort of like a national funding to be able to help writers to write these stories. Secondly, we have to just like look at the key thing in itself, which is actually about how these characters are portrayed in terms of really brilliant writing. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. Kenneth Giang is an award-winning filmmaker. 20 years ago, his film was at the festival. Then a student of the National Film Institute, brilliant filmmaker. His films have been on Netflix and major platforms. So, Kenneth, thank you for that comment. Yes, please, let's come. Yes,
good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
And congratulations first to Duka for surviving 22 years. And I see more 60 and above more years coming. I would like to just make some contribution. sorry, the name of the man, bearded man like me.
Oh, Dr. Eze.
Eze. Dr. Eze. Well, I would like to say that you are very, very wrong concerning the affinity between Nigeria and citizens. And this is actually a story for a movie. A lady called Mercy Ulugbenga, who traveled to Libya in 2021 and was trapped there. She was under house arrest by her host. She wasn't allowed to go out to do anything until she made a video, and the video went viral. And the government of Nigeria went to Libya to rescue her. You can check it on social media and everywhere. I mean, her name is Mercy Olubenga. So Nigeria do go out to rescue Nigerians. I will also remind you, or countless times where air peace have gone to South Africa, Libya, and several places, including Nigerian government, to rescue stranded Nigerians. So it's not only America that loves Americans. Nigeria loves Nigerian citizens.
Okay.
Then coming back to categorization of movies, you have movies for education and you have movies for commercial. Depends on where you want to go. If you want to make money or you want to color government goods. However, there's a movie by Etim Daniel. That is his name?
Daniel Etim.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Daniel Etim Efyong.
Yes.
That is showing at the cinema currently.
Yes.
It's about kidnapping and what have you. I was at the cinema, sold out. From morning, afternoon, just all day, sold out. It portrayed government in a good light. That when you are kidnapped, government can come to your rescue. Good story and good audience also. So, concerning government helping and giving money, currently, I'm quite aware that there's a fund between Nigerian government and other agencies where movie people can access. I can equally also say how many times banks, government have given money to people in the industry and never get return from the practitioners. So perhaps we also need to look into the mirror, talk to ourselves, to put proper structures together. And then we're given money, we should also return that money so that it can also be given to other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prince. Let's come this way, please. We don't stay. We'll come back there, but we'll take two here and then one there, and we'll let the panel round up. Yes, go on. Gentleman, the lady here, yes. Mic, please. Where's the mic? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Your name, please.
My name is Anamdo Itioka from Nile University of Nigeria. The anchor spoke about commitment and from the place of quality scripting that tends to speak about the shape of the Nigerian society. So from the place of Nollywood and filmmakers, what commitment do they stand? Why do they tend to portray Nigeria in a negative space? We tend to see movies about slums, poor educational system, the health sector is really bad. Whereas I live in Nigeria, and Nigeria is filled with a lot of beautiful places, and we expect those world nations to respect us and not really look at our negative space that we literally have nothing. Of recent, Donald Trump will always call us names, but we have the likes of Ruben Abati always correcting him and then making the likes of Nicki Minaj and telling her to focus on Anaconda that's usually based on. Because we tend to portray our nations in a negative. Even artists that do not have a hearsay in their countries tend to say negative things about Nigeria. Why do Nollywood script makers focus on that?
Okay. Who do you want to answer that question? Okay, somebody will answer. Neither will answer. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes. Your name?
My name is Ishola San. I'm a student at Nile University.
Nile University, okay.
Yes, sir. My question is that as filmmakers and producers, when you say that you wish the government to fund your projects more often in a show of solidarity and support, does it necessarily mean that you would still portray it in the light you wanted to portray it, or would it affect like the goals, your values, and everything you were planning on doing with their help?
Thank you. I like that question. If government funds your project, will it affect the content? Yes. Yes, the last.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I'm Dr. Mrs. Ifoma Badu from Philomath University.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question directed to Dr. Eze.
Please, you're in trouble.
Okay, so he, I think he defined what the society is.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so Dr. Eze said the script is meant for two things. It should mirror the society, and then it should also tell how the society wants to be. Now, I want to bring the issue of personal interest. For the filmmakers, I think we have a question to ask. What is behind the film that they are producing? Aside trying to showcase the state of the nation, society cannot give what they don't have. So if we are saying that filmmakers should project the state of the nation as good, but what is happening inside the nation itself? I want to believe that we all know how the image of Nigeria is portrayed. If you travel of late, when you hear Nigeria, all negative things, you hear corruption, your passport, if you go to the airport, your passports are being checkmate as if you're carrying some drugs. When you're having that green card, there is this, notion, Nigeria, and the Nigerians are treated, some way. So I want to ask, what is interest? What is the motive that the filmmakers are using to produce their film?
Okay, thank you, though.
Thank you.
Okay. I think the last one here, the lady here, that's the last one, and then we can let the panel answer. I will just address the questions to the panel, and then we'll do the round-off.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, please.
My name is Adenike Odubao, and I would really like to stay on theme that says from script to nation, the role of film in shaping national identity. So we have to start from script, because without the script, there is no film. That's the first basis. We all know that. It is what the scriptwriter writes that is being filmed. So my question is, or my ask, is that we've all spoken about funding or about access and our reality, how it shaped how we write our films and all of that. But do we have access to archives? If you want me to tell a good story about NNPC, if I enter NNPC today, will I be allowed into the libraries to read something that can inform my creative process? Can that be done in the police, in FRSC, so that if I want to tell a story, I will tell a story from an informed position? So I think for films, we should be allowed, maybe there's something that can be done. For writers, how do we equip ourselves with the right information so that we are telling the right stories, even though from a creative point of view? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that should be the last question, so that I will just get to Dr. Eze. You have them. You can respond to those ones. Adenike Odubanwo's own. I will direct that to, as you round up, Mr. Access to information. I know you are a writer. You've an author written about information. I know there's the Freedom of Information Bill, FY. Does it also allow you to, so you can respond to our question? And then, of course, Steph, as we round up too, who talked about how do we balance your argument, who pays the piper? How do we balance the effect of what you are writing with when you are funded by government? So let's quickly start with Nilo.
Okay, thank you. What's your name? Annabelle, okay, yeah. So you talked about why Nigerian movies are always about the slums and all of that. I don't know how much
Okay, the Tyler Perry owns.
The Tyler Perry movie.
The lady that
had
couldn't afford the
exactly that couldn't afford the hospital for the baby until the baby. So you see films of slums as well in America, but the lived reality of the people is as important as what writers are doing, and it is the reality of the people that will determine what they write. Anyway, it's possible for government to want to. I mean, we have ministries, we have agencies that are filmmaking, for instance. It's possible for government to want to use, like you are saying, to be deliberate about planning the image of the country, you know, and then you can get people together, not necessarily even commercial filmmakers, but you can be deliberate about how you channel the identity and the history of your country. My own feeling is that government in Nigeria has not yet come to the reality of the enormous powers that this medium, I mean, the various medium that we have, media, has. And until we get that, we are just going to continue to be speaking, you know, and not doing anything. But the media can actually help in patterning the reality of the identity of Nigeria. But however, we need to determine as a country, like what the NOA is doing now. NOA is trying to, you know, bring us back to the values, you know, that make us a country. When we realize all of that, then we can ask writers to work together with the government to change this perception. Now, as you were talking about
access to information,
a major problem with Nigeria is that we really don't take data seriously. You know, data is I think it's a national problem, and we need to pay attention to it. However, I know that a lot of our organizations have libraries, and if you want to do something creative, approach them, you know, talk to them. Even with government, the FOI, like you said, I mean, you can get things from government. It may be tedious because we still haven't built that culture of transparency.
Are you sure we can get things from government?
No, but you can.
I recall that some people requested for the voters register, and they should pay 15 billion.
For whose voters register?
Yes, now they want
because the provision of the FOI, even when they deny you, the FOI gives provision for you to take them to court.
Okay,
so you can actually challenge government, but you know when we don't try these things, we never know their utility. So what I am just saying is that there are provisions, there are regulations that allows you to have access to this thing. At least before you can say they are not working, you've got to try them first.
Right.
I mean, I've done a couple of things. I did research, and I was able to get access to information. So I'm sure that you just need to try.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nilo. Steph, your closing remarks. And then, of course, respond to the young lady who talked about how do you marry or balance between.
Okay, without sounding like you're trying to do a propaganda for the government.
Yes.
When government funds your film. There have been films, as much as we say government is not funding the industry. There have been films that has been funded by either one government agency or parastatal or the other. I remember Eagle Swing. That's by the Air Force.
The Air Force, yeah.
And people watched it, and it was
the filmmakers around. I think it's in the hall.
Yeah, you watch Eagle Swing, or is it
Eagle
Wings, and you are captivated by the artistry,
of the Nigerian Air Force.
The Nigerian Air Force, the aesthetics of the whole film. There is nothing that stops you from being creative and writing a script that will captivate the audience when it's government funding you. As long as government is not funding you to run a propaganda. And hey, if you run a propaganda agency, that's different from being a writer. So of course you can draw the line. There's a line between propaganda and creativity. So if government is funding your film to talk about agriculture, for instance, or government wants you to talk about a new policy they have, there is a way you can carve it as a writer and give a very good account of what government is doing whilst also entertaining the audience. Remember, writing or entertainment or filmmaking is about entertainment, education, and of course, correcting ills in the society. So you can draw the line. If you're a professional writer, you can draw the line. Just the same way when you're using your own money to produce a film, you get creative. Government can tell you, government is trying to do something on drug abuse. Write a script. And you write a beautiful script. I think you can draw the line. Thank you.
Dr. Ogali.
So, what is the motivation of the writer, right? The doctor from Philomath
University. Yeah.
So basically for me, because we are talking about script, and script, being the foundation of any great movie or any great output you want to make. In terms of production, from the point of view of the script writer, in storytelling, by the way, a good storyteller doesn't tell the story of a battle, but tells the story of a soldier in a battlefield. It doesn't talk about forest. It talks about a tree in the forest. Look at Nigeria as a forest. How do you tell an exciting story that still mirrors the challenge we have, but also helps in shaping the future of a Nigeria that you so desire? Tell the story of an individual who is battling that and now is able to overcome it. Question again, what is the motivation? The motivation of every writer, taking from where you just left it, first of all, is for you to entertain. Secondly, is for you to educate. And with entertainment and education, the consumer is able to make an informed decision. So you can actually tell fantastic story that shapes a better society and still has commercial value. It just depends on how you are able to manage your craft.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gali. Sidi, parting words.
Thank you. Our theme is from script to nation. And like the young lady there said, the foundation of every film is the script. And the building blocks of every script is the research that has gone into the script. I like the fact that she mentioned information and the ease of access to information. I think that, like my colleague here said, many of us talk about things without actually having tried those channels. I believe that if we try, we will find. There's lots and lots of ways to get information, and there's so many resources that are available to writers. I will simply say that as writers, as creatives, let us do better research, deeper research, and we will come out with better stories, better scripts that portray our country, portray us as individuals, portray our culture, all of these things together, creating something that, like you said, sir, is entertaining, commercially viable, and educative at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sidi. Brilliant panel. I must commend the panel for their very informed position. My takeaway is that government must be deliberate, very deliberate, if we want to couch a national identity for ourselves. We must also, as a people, as writers too, begin to understand, create that balance between the commercial and, of course, the message. There must also be access to information, very key. Research, we must work with access to information. And then finally, we must remember that we are all Nigerians. I was telling somebody some days back, I said, you may not like Tinubu, but don't you like Nigeria? Our diversity is our strength. If you remember that, you may not like him, but remember you like Nigeria. If you think anything bad happens to Nigeria because you don't like him, you are the loser. So Nigeria comes first. Thank you very much for this panel, and I think we've made our points. Thank you very much. And then for just a brief information, the film screenings continue for the students who want to see film. There's a film. The opening film is this evening at 5 p.m. at the Silverbed. It's a film shot in Kenya, the UK, and Nigeria. Also funded by, to a large extent, by this government. Also, the Office of the Vice President was funded, and the film is called Safari by a Nigerian producer. They got funding from Providence Bank, assisted by the federal government to get that funding, and they made the film. That's the opening film at 5 p.m. So the film is free. You guys can watch. You've registered. You can see the film at Silverbed from 5 p.m. this evening. The filmmaker will be around too to go into a Q&A with him, take pictures with the actors, and of course, have fun. Thank you. Francis, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for this wonderful panel. They just come down. So can you just come forward and take pictures? Just. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Just before we finish, I think Kenneth Giang is in the house, and the one question I would have asked everyone to ask him is what informs the kind of movies he shoots. Great Nigerian filmmaker. Please put your hands together for him. I walked up to him. I didn't say I'm a fan of your films. I said I'm a fan of your discipline, because it takes only good discipline to make good films. And any result you cannot repeat, you borrow the first one. So if a man has repeatedly done so much that has given this country a great name, we have the opportunity to thank him. Students, these are the kind of people you hold, and make sure you drain him with questions. These are the kind of people. Let's put our hands together for this great guy. I'm seeing you for the first time, sir. Like I said, I'm a fan to your discipline. The one question they did not ask you, sir, if you could extend a microphone, what informs the kind of... please, I need a microphone to him. I need a microphone to him. Or you want to come to the podium, sir? Please come forward. Come forward, sir. Please. Please, please. It's an honor. Please put your hands together for him as he comes on stage. My pleasure, sir. With all due respect, sir, you see, the greatest soundbite, we have had beautiful soundbite, but your thoughts this moment, it's like spontaneous. What informs the kind of movies you do, sir?
Well, so for me personally, I usually, just like what the panelists actually said, I actually just like draw my inspiration from my environment, right? But then also, it's also just understanding what character is and how to be able to portray that character on screen. But then film in itself, again, is always about how do you actually approach this film technically. So even from the beginning, when I started making films, the sort of like as in films that I actually aspire to make are films that, you know, when you talk about Nigerian films, films from Africa, it actually has to be there. So for me, it's just about what actually just like informed me. So I don't make films that, you know, everybody's just trying to make in terms of like commercial appeal. You'll make like really beautiful films, and then once it touches like people are actually going out to go and see it. So that for me is what really informs me. And I also know that if you're not authentic as an artist, everybody can make the same film like that you're making. So the only thing that makes it to stand out is just like, just go inwards, try to make something that's very, very different, and then you can actually stand out from the crowd. Thank you.
He said something, if you're not...
For those who don't have an idea of Kenneth's films, who has seen Olotue? Yes, this is the filmmaker behind Olotue. Mine is small body. Don't mind it's small frame.
There's even Confusion Nawa. This is Lagos.
This is Lagos.
Blood Sisters.
He made the film too. So it's a renowned Nigerian filmmaker.
Now, sir, it's so nice to have you on the spot. God, the work. Now, listen, sir. Is there anything like, or how do you identify the global futures in telling a local story?
Well, I think the first thing, right, I'm also just going to tell people that people need to study, read a lot, and watch other films. For instance, like right now, I think yesterday I was watching a film. The film is called Banel and Adama. It's actually a film from Senegal, but it was actually their it was in competition in Cannes, at Cannes Film Festival. And if you know Cannes, that is actually the biggest film festival that we have in the world, right? And for me, it's like, when you just like, look at the film, it's set in a village, a very small village. Of course, like when they have problems with like, famine, there's no water and all of that. But it is the authenticity that you just like, as in how those characters are really presented. You understand? Like, how you feel for them, how you fall in love with them, how you actually just stay in the world of that film, because that is actually what film is. Film is about suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
Yeah, and so like when people watch your film, if they are not suspending their and the thing about it is everything actually encompasses that. The characters, like, in terms of like the camera, in terms of like the sound design, everything just like just comes together. So for me, what I actually feel about making films that will stand out is think about character and then also try to just make films that are very authentic. You see, this panel about writing is very important because that's one key problem that we have in the country, and that is about the fact that people just make films about other films that they've seen. They've seen that. Yeah, because like, you can't just like make a film based on what you've seen. Just make films based on your lived experience. So if I'm making a film, I just finished making a film called Jaru Road. It's not been announced yet, but I filmed it in Jos. And it's about a couple, right? The thing about it is when people watch it, and I took it to Jos to go and make it, when people watch it, you have to fall in love with the character. Forget about the environment. When you say there are films in Makoko, part of Blood Sisters was shot in Makoko, right? But you're not going to feel the dead in Makoko. You're just going to feel for those characters.
Yes.
And so you have to make people to suspend their disbelief based on those characters that you present to them.
Yes.
If you do that, you're going to be a very successful filmmaker.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The very last question. I wish we had this. The very last question, sir. This is the point now. Now, so many persons want to stand in front of the camera. And in the course of everything you've been talking about, you're oscillating between two things. Character, cinematic. Character, cinematic. And the authenticity. Yeah. Now, as a director, what is the one thing you want to see in your actor in terms of characterization? What makes you choose X, Y, and Z as people you want to work with as a director?
Yeah. So for me, really, it's not about, the social media number, right? It's about...
Please say it again. Say it again.
It is not about the numbers that you have on social media. People always believe that once you have the number, because that is actually what people believe commercially. But most times, when you bring characters like actors that really do not fit into that role, that key thing is going to be missing. That is suspension of disbelief. The first thing that people believe. So if I look at you, right, if you don't really look like the character, it's a problem, right? But then even if you're going to be the character in yourself, do I have the people in terms of like, my crew who can be able to like make you look like that character? Then also, what sort of work as an actor do you put into this? People always just believe
Sorry, sir.
Because people believe that it's just
say
about
that again.
rehearsal.
No, say that again. What kind of work do you put in?
Exactly, into
Yes,
that
sir.
character.
Yes, sir.
Because people just believe it is just about rehearsal. It is not just rehearsal, right? You just rehearse and then you're saying the thing, it's not really coming from inside, because even you as an actor, you don't really believe it. You have to be able to... Performance is not just about understanding the words on the text, just like, oh, I have it in my head, I'm just going to say it. You have to just like make sure that you reach deep down, study other characters, just like the way as a director, if I'm going to make a film about Zamfara, I probably have to go to Zamfara to go and find out, which is actually what the panelists actually said in terms of research, right? So as an actor as well, how far do you go to research a particular character before you stand in front of a camera?
Case closed. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, legendary Kenneth Gang, wonderful filmmaker, one of Nigeria's best. Thank you, brother. I'm praying one of these days so that you will call me. Definitely. I'm willing. I'm willing. Thank you so much. The legendary Daniel Wilson in the house. Please put your hands together for him. You're welcome, sir. Now listen, people. This is purely for the students. A whole lot of you want to stand in front of the camera. A whole lot of you want to write script. You have heard it. I don't think there's any other platform you have this opportunity to hear this ever again in life. This happens once in a lifetime. I don't know what you have learned, But this is an eye-opener to the things you're being presented to. There's another opportunity for you to go for the screening 5 p.m. today and hear from the legendary Obi Emelonye and watch the movies. And please ask questions. Selfies are good, but sometimes they are not right. Okay. So you heard it. So please, thank you so much. Right about now, the DG of NTDA is in the house, and we don't have big fishes like that come around without saying a word in time. Please, let's put our hands as we receive the... Is the DG here now? Is the DG here now? So part of the discussion, while he comes, part of the discussion, what you need to also understand... Break it down, please. Hold on. Listen to me, guys. One thing you need to understand, there are two dimensions in writing. There is the descriptive and there's a prescriptive. When you descriptive, you're writing about a true situation. Prescriptive, when you have to write about something that you're being mandated to write. If the National Drug Law Enforcement calls me to write a script now for their outfit, they are prescribing a method. This is what we want to see. And as a writer, it's your job to go within those. But like you rightly said, you heard, is entertaining? Is it educative? And so you write everything is not educative, is a problem. Now you must guard your minds against some very, very wrong things happening in the industry. I remember sometime we were filming because a female actress climbed a palm tree. The next day, they wrote another script where another female actress climbed a mango tree. So all we had that particular time, girls turning to tomboy, climbing. How many of you remember that? Now, is that good or right? It's a choice. Like Steph said, it's a case of he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Those writers there were paid to actually write those kind of scripts. But you see, I know writers who actually are great writers still today, who did the same thing, wrote great scripts, and till today, they are still writing great scripts because they understood the dynamics of what you do. So at the end of the day, the knowledge gap is the whole thing. How much you take from this is what determines how much goes with you. If you don't have anything inside, forget about it. Thank you. Are we ready? Are we ready? Some music, please. Some music.
So if you call me, I go come. So many things I want to say to you. Fine on me, I fell on you. Can I stay with you when make I come over? Fine on me, when I show your side. Can I stay with you when make I come over? Fuck up for that, you got petition, fuck up for that. Bad belle people, they talk about today. Which kind cruise you want put me today? Your 8 no be 8 if you 8 your way. You know catch your dick, you they buy Panadol. Okay, got the money long, pull it up. Don't near me, I get OCD. Mac when I'm on me, I be OGB. I can live my life, no compromising, don't be fighting. If you don't agree, I go move to the side. Talk to the next person, if they try to go easy. All up, I'm frozen, if you know me, you go know say my flight is different. I no need ticket. mile away. More money is a mile away. More money is a mile away. More money is a mile away. Comparison, it dey stress me, so no talking bullshit when you near me. I'm just into my own thing, and I don't care about your own thing. You carry force for the class, you mentor. Shaping a blessing, we carry last go by car. At the end of the day, now for my car, you go to do for the people where they like class. I don't live my life, no compromising, don't be fighting. If you don't agree, I go move to the side. Talk to the next person, if they try. Go easy, I'm a long I'm frozen, if you know me, you go know say my flight is different and running.
Only wanna have a good time, so you put a new strain in your wrist, like, yeah. Never want to be alone, so you go dancing with strangers.